Okay, hold on a second. I was going to start with the Oval Office press conference, which was rough. We'll get to the clips, but first you need to see this photo. It was taken yesterday at Joint Base Andrews. Real photo, no AI, no editing. I know it's hard to believe when you actually look at it, but a Reuters photojournalist snapped it, and Reuters ran it in a piece yesterday, so we know exactly where it came from. And I'll just say it, this might be the worst photo of Donald Trump that's ever been published. He looks awful. This is the kind of shot his team works overtime to keep out of circulation, and somehow it got through. Now, would it be a real shame if this photo somehow ended up all over social media? Just a tragedy if everyone shared it. Anyway, this is the actual sitting president. The one his White House keeps telling us is in tremendous shape, peak health, never been better, and he looks like that. Moving on though, let's talk about what happened in the Oval Office today, because it was a mess. He tripped over his own words constantly, which honestly is just how he talks to the press at this point, and it got especially rough when the ballroom came up. So here's the clip. He said, "A tremendous amount of what's being done with respect is for national security. We have a drone port. We have glass that's 4 inches thick, bulletproof glass, a bunch of things." A drone port, 4-inch bulletproof glass. He's basically telling you he's turning the White House into a military installation. Just listen to this.
The ballroom is being a tremendous amount of what's being done with respect to the ballroom is for national security, including, as an example, a drone port on top of which was top secret until litigation made it less than top secret. But we have a drone port. We have the glass that's 4 inches thick, bulletproof glass. We have bulletproof walls. We have things. You need a place like this. But this is being made as a gift from me and other people that are great patriots that spend a lot of money. We're building what will be the finest ballroom anywhere in the world. If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure, but the ballroom is being built.
And there he goes again, bragging about the ballroom. That's all he does anymore. I swear, every single time we cover one of his press conferences on this show, the ballroom finds its way into the conversation. Every time, without fail. He'll be answering a question about something completely unrelated, and somehow he steers it back to the ballroom so he can pat himself on the back. And the thing that really gets me is how shameless the whole performance is. He's lying about it openly, and he's doing it while the economy is falling apart around regular people. Folks are struggling to pay rent, struggling to afford groceries, and this guy is up there gushing about a ridiculously expensive ballroom, while lying about who's actually paying for it. He keeps saying, this is privately funded, still pushing that line. Meanwhile, Republicans in Congress are scrambling to figure out how to shove $1 billion of taxpayer money into the project. So which is it? Then a reporter asked him, what if Congress doesn't sign off on the ballroom? And you can just watch his face curdle. Watch this.
If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure, but the ballroom is being built.
Well, what if Congress doesn't sign off on the security money, sir?
Then the White House won't be a very secure place.
But then regarding Cuba, there was an aircraft carrier.
Look, the White House is already locked down tighter than any building in this country. The security around that place is genuinely wild when you actually think about it. Snipers on the roof, massive gates, and that's just the stuff you can see from the street. There's a whole lot more you can't see. It is the most protected piece of real estate in America. So if Congress decides not to sign off on $1 billion for a ballroom on top of all that, good. That's the right call. That's what people actually want, and the polling backs this up. Americans oppose spending $1 billion on the ballroom 68 to 21. So who's the 21%? It's the hardcore Trump faithful, the ones with the closet full of merch, the ones who show up to every rally, repeat every line, swallow every story whole. That's your 21%. Every other reasonable person in this country, whether they lean left, lean right, voted for the guy, didn't vote for him, doesn't matter. They don't want this. Nobody is asking for $1 billion ballroom. Nobody. None of us want our tax money paying for a party palace so Trump and his buddies can host events in it, with a bunker underneath it, and a drone port sitting on the roof. It's completely unhinged when you say it out loud. And then we got what I can only call a once-in-a-lifetime clip. Donald Trump showing you in real time that he genuinely does not care about his own family. A reporter asked him, "Are you attending your son's wedding this weekend?" And a normal human being, any normal parent, would just say, "Yeah, of course, it's my kid's wedding." That's the easiest answer in the world. Instead, he launches into this rambling, "Well, maybe, maybe not, I'm kind of busy." Watch this.
Are you attending your son's wedding this weekend, by the way?
He'd like me to go, but it's going to be just a small little private affair, and I'm going to try and make it. I'm in the midst. I said, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed. By the fake news, of course, I'm talking about. No, but he's got a very person who I've known for a long time, and hopefully they're going to have a great marriage.
Mr. President, actually to add to the art, I just actually passed by it on my...
And it's the way he says it that really gets me. He's not talking about his kid like a kid. He's talking about him like some guy he used to do real estate deals with in the 90s. Like an old contact. A name in his Rolodex. That's your son. Your actual son. I cannot wrap my head around it. And here's the part that's almost funny. Remember everything the Trump operation said about the Biden family for years? The Republican Party went after them constantly. Meanwhile, the Bidens actually love each other. They're close. They show up for each other. I've met some of them, and they are genuinely good, warm people. A real family. The Trump family, on the other hand, well, we've all seen it. Trump himself, Don Jr., Eric, the whole crew. A collection of guys who have done some genuinely terrible stuff. We know what we're dealing with there. And the kicker is his excuse. "Oh, I'm busy. I can't go. I'm busy." Right. Busy. Let's check that. The man has spent 111 of his 487 days back in office out on a golf course. That's 22.8% of his time in office. Almost a quarter of every day he's been president, he's been golfing. With Iran heating up, with a war going on, he's been out there this very month swinging a 9-iron. But his son's wedding, suddenly his calendar is just packed. "Well, I'll try to make it. I'm a little busy. I'm a little busy." Sure you are. And then in this last clip, he goes off on the 2020 election again. Pulls out some wild voter fraud claims, says Maryland found 500,000 illegal votes, which obviously we're going to fact check because that's nonsense. But just listen to this.
Would be happy to do it. We want to open it up to Cuban Americans where they can go back and help.
Will you arrest Scott?
The DNC released a report this morning, their report on the last election on why you won and Democrats lost. One thing that it mentions is how they failed to reach Middle America, Southern Americans. Do you think they've learned lessons from that election, and have you seen that report?
I think the elections are so rigged, and we have to do something about it, and we're going to do something about it, but we cannot continue to have, and frankly, the Senate and the House, they ought to get together and they ought to pass the Save America Act so that you have voter ID, and it's so important you have proof of citizenship, little thing like proof of citizenship, and also mail-in voting, which is so crooked. So in Maryland, as you probably saw, they had 500,000 mail-in votes that were corrupt. They were corrupt. They said the printer made a mistake. Don't believe that. And they got caught with 500,000 mail-in ballots that were corrupt. We've got to stop it. We have a country that has a very corrupt... We have more corrupt elections than third world countries have. And we ought to get smart. Pass the Save America Act.
Donald Trump on Monday accused Maryland officials, including Wes Moore, a Democrat, of illegally sending hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots to voters in an effort to ensure victory for Democrats. He made the claim on Truth Social and repeated it later in the day during this healthcare affordability event at the White House. The accusation came after a recent vendor error made it necessary to send replacement ballots to some voters ahead of Maryland's 2026 gubernatorial primary in June. Now here's the actual story. What Trump said is just false, flat out. No illegal ballots got sent to anybody. Here's what the Maryland State Board of Elections explained. Some voters received a primary ballot for the wrong party due to a vendor error. Voters who may have been affected will receive a replacement ballot, and any of the original ballots already sent to election offices will be voided. Voters have been instructed to destroy their original ballots if they have not yet returned them. Safeguards, such as unique identifiers on ballot envelopes, ensure that voters can only vote once. Additionally, the error won't give one party an advantage over the other. In Maryland, Republicans and Democrats vote in separate primaries to determine who their candidates will be in general elections. Which, by the way, is how it works in most states across the country. So a vendor messed up. They caught it. They're fixing it. The system has safeguards baked in so nobody can vote twice. End of story. There's no fraud here. There's no scheme. There's no 500,000 anything. It's a printing mistake getting corrected the way it's supposed to be corrected. And he turned it into a conspiracy because that's what he does. So yeah, another straight up lie from Donald Trump. At this point, would you expect anything else? But what an absolute mess of a press conference. He bragged about the ballroom for the millionth time. He basically told the world he doesn't care about his own son, and he peddled fake voter fraud claims on top of it all. Just yikes across the board. So I'm gonna wrap the video here, and I'm gonna leave you with that brutal photo one more time. I'm sorry, I had to. I really had to. If you made it this far, hit subscribe down below, drop a like on the video while you're at it, and leave a comment. I want to hear what you think about everything we just went through. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.